as dangerous and deadly and just plain insane as they all are inherently patternless and self-contradictory. Most researchers are convinced that there is no possible unifying principle for them all, much less a common source.
Alright, we got another SCP proposal. This one's SCP-001, the database. And this one's by SCP Orientation. This one's suggested to me by The Real Scrappy. Alright, let's start. I'm assuming this is like a...
Item number, SCP-001. Object class,
I don't know.
Keter.
We'll see.
Special containment procedures. There is no means to contain SCP-001 yet found that does not risk a potential ZK class reality failure scenario and subsequent destruction of the observable universe.
I don't remember what ZK means,
Current
but
procedures are limited to the
I don't think it's
absolute
good.
containment of information regarding SCP-001. No data regarding the nature or description of SCP-001 shall be provided to any personnel, with the sole exception of the senior member of O5 Command. All data collected in regard to SCP-001 shall be stored in encrypted form with the decryption key split into thirds. Each member of O5 Command shall memorize one
what is a database? Is it just like a dictionary of SCPs?
Shall only be decrypted on a network isolated eyes-only terminal to be read only
Just informations
by the
of
senior member
SCPs?
of O5 Command, and then only after unanimous consent of O5 Command. Leaking of data about SCP-001 through espionage, telepathic leakage, original research, or must be contained by any and all means available to the Foundation, the senior member of O5 Command, as the one person with authorized knowledge about SCP-001 is the final arbiter on containment. Foundation personnel of level 2 or higher who discover data about SCP-001 in the course of their normal duties may be given a Class A amnestic after debriefing, rather than being terminated. This is subject to O5 approval on a case-by-case basis.
Bro, they use amnestics so
Data
much.
expunged.
How reliable is that?
Containment log 001 alpha.
Is there like expiration date on that?
12/19. Incident. Documents appear on internet site, servers seized and authors traced to...
Oh damn, it's online now.
Explained as a gas leak. Monitoring has not shown any further propagation of documents. Date of 3/31/19. Incident.
Database are they talking about the SCP wiki?
Information optioned for production by Pictures. Original script writer. The agent successfully replaced script with one rewritten without. Film was produced with title and grosses.
There's a lot of redacted on this one.
Weekend. Date 06/19/19.
Redacted.
Incident. Novel outline describing submitted to by best-selling author.
Now a
Attempt to
novel?
neutralize author unsuccessful, leading to high-profile hospitalization. O5 authorizes the use of Class A amnestic to prevent more attention to case.
See,
Outline
amnestic
recovered
again.
and destroyed. Date 05.
Has the amnestic
Incident.
ever failed?
Foundation researcher.
That'd be crazy if somebody like
Data
it just don't work on somebody.
Ask yourself if you want to know. If the answer is no, then you need to stop reading right now. If you go and report this unauthorized file to your superiors, act contrite, and claim that you only read to this paragraph, you might get away with a Class A amnestic, if you're lucky, and if the O5s aren't particularly paranoid at the moment. So you want to know what SCP-001 is?
Yeah.
The first answer is that it was a placeholder. A theoretical designation for the prime cause.
I mean, we know that already.
Reason for all the paranormal crap we deal with on a daily basis.
Tell me about that database, bro.
SCP-001 is why we have to deal with omnicidal reptiles, ever-expanding rooms, extra-dimensional pools of red goop, and consumer products that don't obey the normal laws of physics.
Blue lady,
Of
that
course,
cigarette.
given that all these things, as dangerous and deadly and just plain insane as they all are inherently patternless and self-contradictory, most researchers are convinced that there is no possible unifying principle for them all, much less a common source. They're wrong. There's more than one reason that cross-testing is discouraged, and the O5s even look down on excessive cross-referencing of SCPs. The O5s don't want any one group looking at more than a handful of these things at once, because of what they discovered when the Foundation tried to develop a grand unified theory of SCPs. That research is mostly gone now. Site-001 Alpha was dismantled, scrubbed from the archives, the staff mind-wiped and reassigned.
Bro, tell me about the database, bro.
And I wouldn't know anything if it wasn't for my habit
Is
of
it a
not trusting
server?
the Foundation servers, and having my own hidden personal archive the O5s missed in their panic. I was a data analyst at Site-001 Alpha. Note to O5 Command, don't bother looking for me. I finished the job you started. The identities of all former staff at Site-001 Alpha have been completely scrubbed from the records. You know as much as they do now.
Or is it just
And I
like information
participated in the
leak about
first and only attempt to
SCPs?
consolidate all Foundation data on all SCPs. I was in charge of data integrity, and as much of a mess as you might think that was, it was an order of magnitude worse. Forget the mimetic SCPs, or the ones that modify
That is
their own
crazy.
description,
That's a crazy
or the ones
picture
that seem
right
to
there.
only inhabit info space and slip into the database to wreak havoc. That's all SOP for anyone who works with the Foundation's network. Just a matter of scale. Worse were the completely inexplicable, unexpected changes in date. Sorry, that's wrong. Even though I can't help thinking of it that way, it isn't a change in data, when reality is shifting to match. I don't know a lot about the internals of the software we used, but I know that part of it ran outside of what we think as the real world. And, at first, everyone thought that the audit trails it produced were some sort of bug. However, it became apparent that the nature of the software, its purposeful isolation from the narrative affecting SCPs, allowed it to record something far more important. It's not visible to you, or the O5s, or even to most of the SCPs we deal with, but the Foundation, and by extension the entire universe, is in a state of constant shifting reality flux. SCP files appeared and disappeared from our database with alarming regularity, and the SCPs referred to all appearance, appeared and disappeared along with them. Not just SCPs, but personnel, whole sites, and entire decades of the Foundation's history would be rewritten, seemingly at random, and our own memories and all external research would confirm that objective reality matched the current version in our database. One of the researchers told me that it was as if we were seeing the effect of something like SCP-140, only much larger in scale. Yeah, something a lot like SCP-140, and infinitely larger in scale. I don't know who did the analysis, and if I did, I wouldn't say. She's probably a lot happier not knowing about her own discovery, but she looked at what vanished and what appeared, and what subtly changed in the records, and she found the pattern, the drift toward darkness, toward narrative coherence, toward a plot. Everyone who works any length of time at the Foundation knows the universe we live in is a seriously f***ed up place. Those of us who still believe in God tend towards serious ambivalence about his handiwork. But we found out that there is a God, and it is SCP-001.
Bro, this is getting way too serious.
And it's a bunch of horror writers.
Oh, okay.
Addendum.
Okay, I get it now, I get it.
Protocol ZK-001 Alpha. O5 eyes only. Enter
Okay.
decryption key. Decryption key accepted. Note. Containment Protocol ZK-001 Alpha carries a non-zero risk of creating a ZK-class reality failure scenario. Use should only be authorized in an attempt to mitigate an end-of-the-world scenario or the imminent destruction of the Foundation. Research at Site-001 Gamma has conducted narrative analysis on SCP-001's changes to the observable universe. Conclusions are that SCP-001 consists of multiple entities, showing cognitive patterns that are indistinguishable from human, and that these entities are therefore susceptible to mimetic effects. Since prior experiments have shown information feedback via the SCP data warehouse, a possible method of attack and/or control has been developed. Protocol ZK-001 Alpha, when initiated, will cause a software viral insertion of a variety of mimetic agents into the SCP database, which, through the observed information feedback, should expose SCP-001 to the mimetic effects of these agents. Protocol ZK-001 Alpha consists of 3 stages. 1. Mimetic agents inserted to promote calm and/or well-being. 2. Mimetic agents inserted to promote sleep, unconsciousness, or catatonia. 3. Mimetic agents inserted to cause death. Given the nature of SCP-001 and our limited interaction with it, it is not possible at this time to safely test Protocol ZK-001 Alpha, and it is unknown if the universe can continue to exist without interaction with SCP-001.
Okay, I get it. Thank you.
Continue with your orientation.
Alright, so at first I thought it was the database is gonna be the dictionary of SCP. You know, like the SCP Wiki, which it is the SCP Wiki. It's pretty much like a fourth wall break, right? Like a meta thing. Like the SCP universe is starting to be aware that our world writes their, like, pretty much they publish whatever SCPs and then it appears to their world. It's pretty much like how do I compare it to? There's a Deadpool comics when Deadpool pretty much killed the Marvel universe, right? But he kept going back and back and back in the history. He went back all the way to the point that he left, like he came out of the comic book and started killing all the writers or the writers, publishers and authors of the Deadpool comics. I think this is what they're trying to do with this one, right? Like they're aware that there's a SCP Wiki, which is the database, and somebody's pretty much, or there are a group of people that pretty much writes all this SCP. And now we'll see what's the next step on this one. This is actually interesting. At first I was like, man, I don't like the meta thing. I don't like the fourth wall break when it comes to SCP-001. I prefer things that are like into the SCP world, you know? But this is interesting actually. I like it. Anyway, this one's SCP-001, the database by SCP orientation. Also, if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments below. Yeah, Scrappy, like, if you can, comment, let me know more about this guy or this SCP. Alright.